We did missions, field exercises. Sometimes it was more like equipment testing. I would set a scenario and run things from a central location. Each member of the team had a different kind of camera and a specific task to complete, and we were always on a clock. Had to make it seem real. This was Field Test 14, pretty standard for us. We used one of those old marine warehouses off Harbor Avenue on Puget Sound. Nobody knew we were there. Nobody cared. This time the team had to locate and deactivate markers. It had to be about something, right? Had to put the equipment through some paces. Oh, here's Finn. He's fearless, and I've never met anyone like him. He's got 24 markers to pick up in a very short amount of time. But that's only half of it.
Now you know I got this, right?
As usual, all the trackers were on the move. Every team has to have a Lewis. When everybody else is all hyped up, you need someone who you know is going to have his feet firmly planted on the ground. He's got just one marker to find, but it's a little tricky, and he always goes for the shiniest thing first. It's like a joke, and I get him every time. See? There he goes. Right on schedule.
Awkward.
What can I say about Emily? I don't know anyone who has the capacity to focus like she can. She's got this thing for remote control monster trucks. She's got a wireless cam on this truck, and she uses the Trinity camera as the remote. We scattered pieces of a ramp that she can use to launch the truck across the water to where the marker is. But she's got to figure it out first. So Finn entered the 11-digit code and got himself into the Green Lantern. He knows that code better than his own phone number.
That's what I'm talking about.
His last marker is up there on that little platform, right where it's really hard to snag, if you intend to stay on your board. This is where the whole thing started falling apart. I can't say that Lewis failed his part of the mission, because he did find the marker. Unfortunately, he lost a very expensive piece of equipment. Finn had a similar outcome.
Got it!
He got the marker, but killed the camera. Emily and I are still arguing about this one. She's got this theory about updrafts and wind shear, and I've got a theory about hitting the gas too hard and overshooting the target. This was one time when all of Emily's hard work went up in flames. Literally. This mission was pretty huge in terms of equipment loss, but I think of it now as the last time we had a mission where the only thing at stake was busted gadgets. Here's that security camera footage from outside the warehouse. I zoomed in to try to get a better look at her face. I know you can't see much, but I was convinced this was the same person who was in this next video.
I'm Zara. Thanks for responding to my challenge. If you're seeing this message, it means that you've already solved the first one. So, congratulations. There are only 2 more levels, but each is a lot more difficult than the one before. Now, don't be too hard on yourself if this is the only level you can complete. It still places you in a rarefied category. Trust me. For instance, it means you know something about the symbol language known as glyph. Some of you will assume that I was involved in that project, the legendary glyph project. But I wasn't. It's just something I picked up. If any of you actually make it to the 3rd level, and really, that might not even happen, I can say this. A prize of indescribable value awaits the winner. I won't say any more than that. Keep an eye on the puzzle site. You'll know when it's time to continue, and time is definitely a factor here. Good luck.
Turns out, I was gonna need a lot more than luck.
Hello, Adam. Yes, this message is just for you. Nicely done. That 2nd level has seriously thinned out the crowd. I saw how you approached the solve and I was impressed. Very nice work. In fact, I think we should meet. Let's do this. If you can finish the puzzle, I'll go to that coffee shop near you. What's it called? The Grindhouse? I'll be there at 2 p.m. the day you reach the final level. Excuse me. If you reach the final level. But you're good. Maybe a little too good. We'll just have to see.
Well, I knew the game had changed, but there was so much I still didn't know. There was hours of footage to go through, but I found the part where the guy came in. Oh, this is my dad, by the way. Alright, check this out. So here he is. Say hello to my own personal nightmare. And this is that file I found hidden on one of my drives.
Let me start by making a guess. You are thinking right about now that you should be calling the police, am I right?
You had me there. That's exactly what I was thinking.
And you would tell them what? Someone copy files off of your hard drive? What is the value of these files? Don't you still have your own copies? But my files are valuable to me.
Alright, let's just get this straight. I do not talk like that, okay?
Be glad that you still have them. Go home, play a video game.
Alright, this is where he laid it all out.
You and I know perfectly well what has happened here. You have, quite possibly, one of the most magnificent portfolios of cutting-edge inventions from Helsinki to Tokyo.
Okay, now that's something every decent programmer wants to hear.
I want you to do exactly what I say. If you're a man of your word, if you can be trusted to do as I ask, I will destroy my copy of that magnificent portfolio of inventions. But I'm being rude. A friend of yours would like to say hello.
I'd like to say I saw this coming, but I didn't.
Hello, Adam. I'm glad it was you who solved the puzzle. You were always my favorite.
So here we had the same event, covered from 3 very different perspectives. Finn was inside by the entrance, Emily was outside a few doors down, and I was in the balcony waiting for Zara, and trying not to fall asleep. This first video shows the feed from Finn's camera, the Belinsky, and a pirated signal we picked up from a security camera at the Grindhouse. Finn knows that where there's coffee, there's sugar, so that's where he's headed.
Laszlo's on the move.
And Laszlo must have had
Guys.
some way of seeing, because that's the exact moment he appears,
Stop watching us.
and makes off with the Belinsky. Emily was outside and caught Laszlo's arrival,
Laszlo's on the move. Guys!
and swift departure. Turns out, Zara was right around the corner when I was talking to her.
I think I got something just then.
And Emily was right. She did get something just then. Something huge. But we couldn't see it. Not yet, anyway.
I told you I'd be here.
I made this to show how weird it was having Zara just appear like that on the
All
Orville.
the friends you brought along.
How are you doing this?
I'm gonna ask you not to move from the balcony there, if that's all right with you. It's what Laszlo wants, and trust me, you don't want to cross him.
Just keep him away from my friends.
I was trying to keep an eye on things, but she did her job. She totally distracted me from what Laszlo was
Seems like
doing.
you left something in the water. Kudos to you for designing the watertight seal for the case.
How did you get it?
Really, Adam, you should always have at least one person on your team who scuba dives.
And I bet you scuba dive.
For years. The real question is how far you're willing to go to get your inventions back.
Well, what are we talking about here?
Sorry. I think you'll be hearing from Emily in just a second.
Laszlo's on the move. Guys!
Okay, well, maybe we could have coffee for real sometime.
I was really tired, but I still shouldn't have let it happen. Luce was involved in developing the Deckard's feature set, and it shows. He put that thing through its paces, with awesome results.
I took the footage of Zara from the game. I spent way too much time trying to identify the curtains, the furniture, and the little statue on the windowsill behind her, and then it struck me. I'm looking at the wrong thing. So I thought, what if I darken it and see if there's any detail hiding in the sky outside? So, hello, we've got some information now. Information they didn't know they were giving us. You're not gonna believe it. I found that church. I'm a few blocks away, but I got a good vantage point. So I shot some photos. So we apply some 3D coordinates. And then I compare it to the image from her video. We do a little GPS extrapolation, figure out which side this is, and we see it's the south side. Now all we have to do is calculate an approximate distance. The only building tall enough to get the perspective is going to be the Windsor Residential Hotel.
So now we knew that Laszlo's and Zara's videos were made over at the Windsor. I had a few ideas on figuring out which room they were in. Emily sent this in later. Man, she really knows how to get the most out of the Trinity.
Okay, buddy. Show us what you got there.
Blackfoot Holdings. I guess it's kind of obvious, but we have to try, right?
Blackfoot Holdings, an international investment company specializing in wealth management for individuals and corporations of distinction. Isn't it time you joined our team?
Weird, huh? Let's file that under needs more research. Emily out.
After some serious digging, it became clear to Emily that Blackfoot Holdings was just a money laundering scheme. Plain and simple. First, we had to figure out which room they were using. I'd been waiting for the perfect test for the Orville, and this was it.
It's Orville time. We're looking for a window, maybe on the 5th floor, maybe on the 4th, with a little statue in the windowsill. I don't know, this seems kind of like a long shot. Oh, wait. Got it! Looks like 5th window from the elevators, 4th floor up.
Next, we had to get Finn to figure out which room numbers went with which windows. In retrospect, he might have been the wrong guy for the job.
The elevator opens south. Turn right, look left.
It's gotta be either 406 or 408. Let's say from 404 to 410.
404 to 410. That's 4 different keys.
Is that okay? Can you make 4?
Yeah, I should be able to.
Then we had to get the girl at the front desk out of the lobby so Lewis could get some blank keys. There was no talking Finn out of that job. He was seriously not going to let anyone else do
Stay
it.
on this street here and go all the way down to that.
Finn got her looking down the street so Lewis could get in without being seen. I'm still amazed what Lewis could put together with some ribbon cable, a $3 processor, a broken card swipe, and an empty breath mint container. Lewis only had time to make 3 keys before Finn made it around to the employee's entrance. I sent Lewis to let him in. They started trying the keys.
One down.
They all worked thanks to Lewis, but it was looking like maybe we had the wrong room numbers after all.
One more card.
Then they opened the 3rd room.
This is it.
Are you sure?
See for yourself.
Nice job, guys. Okay, now, find a spot for the camera and get out. For some reason, our channels got messed up and they couldn't hear me, which was unfortunate because I was trying to tell them they were about to have visitors.
Now, they're coming.
Finn and Lewis told me later it was so cramped under there, they were convinced they were being punked. If only that were the case. Here's where Zara got the Raymond device from Laszlo in the nifty case I made for it.
Nice. This is all
Check
we
this
have
out.
now. Any evidence that the Raymond backdoor was opened will be found on Adam's computer, not ours.
See? She said it. They framed us. That's me the first time I called, but they didn't pick up.
No one.
When I called back, I told Zara to put me on speakerphone.
Adam,
I want to meet, but not up there. Not in the room.
what did you have in mind?
The lobby, meet me there. That's where I am.
Adam, this is Laszlo.
I know.
It'll be best if we stay right here.
Really? What if I told you I can see everything Zara's doing? You're only one step away from the back door.
And all I have to do is hit enter.
Do you fully understand what you're doing?
What about you, Adam? Are you sure you fully understand?
We know all about Blackfoot Holdings. We know it's how you plan to launder the money.
I told you.
Yes, you did.
What was up with that response? Totally not what I was expecting.
What's going on?
You can come out from under the bed now.
I'm not under the bed.
I wasn't talking to you, Adam. I was talking to Finn and Lewis.
Guys, run for it!
Nice and slow, please.
Can we just get Adam and Emily here now so we can talk this through?
I think I'm ready to get the police involved.
I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not threatening your friends. Bring Emily. We will explain everything.
I didn't want to go. I wanted to call the cops. I kept thinking, it's safer if I'm here where I can see everything. But I had no choice. Lewis and Finn were in real trouble this time, and I'd put them there. I had to go.
Adam? Adam?
Emily and I went up to the room. I had the Orville running in case I needed evidence later. I was relieved to see that Lewis had turned on the Deckard and was secretly filming too. It was eerie, walking into that room, everybody just standing there.
We are with ISD, the Internet Security Directive.
I guess I wasn't supposed to keep the card. Whoops.
We recruit all the best programmers and
He explained that ISD hires programmer types to go after hackers who are into cyber theft on a pretty big scale.
fraud and steal via the internet.
No way.
You guys are feds?
It's how we had to play it.
Wait, why should we believe you now?
Yeah, anyone can make a business card.
Well, your hesitation is understandable. The puzzles, the clues that led you to us, all of it was just an elaborate test devised only for you.
Wait, when you say everything...
Yeah, the Glyphmaster site, Blackwood Holdings, those are IP address specific sites. Only you could see them. The rest of the world sees a page that says server not found.
I never thought of making websites that only certain people could find.
All the cases that we've closed so far are child's play compared to the one we have before us right now. This is the one which we cannot fail.
The Raymond backdoor?
The Raymond device we have is real. You know that now. But what you don't know is that it's not the only one.
Yeah, the other one is in the hands of someone who used to work for us. A remarkable programmer. When he disappeared, we realized right away we had made a mistake, but...
I think we all started to sense what was coming,
He's a legend in the world of hackers.
and who they were describing.
Are we talking about Shantorian?
That guy used to work for you?
I remember you talking about that guy.
He's the hacker of all hackers. This guy can do anything.
Where he is now, nobody knows for sure.
The Raymond backdoor is a huge threat, and we're hearing about a new Shantorian virus. Things like this are dangerous on a scale that can only be described as massive. The world's economies are at risk.
We are still recruiting operatives so we can close the Raymond backdoor for good.
And put Shantorian behind bars.
I'm not a programmer.
Neither am I.
But you're trackers.
ISD needs Adam's inventions. We need trackers.
Laszlo had tricked us before, but this was different. It was a chance to do something that really mattered.
So, are you guys ready for your last test?
I knew what he was capable of. The test would be dangerous. Someone might even get hurt. Laszlo and Zara gave us the address of an old power station south of town. In some ways, it was like our own field tests. In other ways, it was a whole new ball game. The only instructions we had were to come equipped, whatever that meant, and to pay close attention to the red lines. I made sure Finn had a full set of minicams charged up. Emily packed some stuff that I'd never seen before. Lou suggested he take the Orville's chopper and a few other things with him. Each tracker had a different start point in the building. Lewis was up first.
Yeah, I'm ready.
When he saw what his mission was, he knew they must have been watching him closely. It was the sketchiest stunt course any of us had ever seen. When he landed, he saw what looked like a really basic dexterity course with cones. That didn't seem right, and so he pulled out the Deckard and started looking more closely at the cones. There were tiny numbers on 4 of them. We didn't know what they meant, but it seemed like we were supposed to find them.
You getting this, Adam?
2539. I'll start working on that. Emily, you there?
Then it was Emily's turn.
Ready to roll.
She said later on it was like somebody had been taking notes during her nightmares. She's tough, but she just doesn't like creepy and spooky places. she had to put the Trinity in night vision mode just to see where she was going. She found a door, but then she saw something I don't think anyone else would have noticed, and she used a silicone-based spray to confirm it. A laser was aimed across the doorway as a kind of tripwire. It was the red line she was looking for. She used a tiny front surface mirror to trick the laser into thinking it was still beaming across the door. Once she got inside, she did a quick search of what seemed to be somebody's old office, but nothing really stood out. Then she realized...
Okay, well, who leaves a fan running in an abandoned office?
When she saw there was no off switch, she decided to use the Trinity to check out her hunch.
Okay, wait. Let me see. Get there.
And there it was, another 4-digit number, and I still had no idea what to do with it. Finn's mission started out bad and got worse from there.
There's something wrong with your signal.
We started to lose his signal, but to make matters worse, he was supposed to make this insane stair jump. Finn's board fell into a lower platform after the jump, and he noticed there was a red line pointing at the door down there. He was about to step on the platform to check it out, and he decided to stick a minicam on the railing to give me another view. Good thing he did. Those minicams weigh, I don't know, maybe an ounce and a half? But I guess it was an ounce and a half too many. The whole platform gave out. He got back up to safety, but there was no way to get through that door now. I was stumped. But the next thing I know, he's hopping up and down like a jackrabbit. He was trying to tell me he'd found a hole in the wall big enough for the Orville's chopper. Lewis pulled it out of his backpack, and I controlled it from here. The room was pretty big, and there were a lot of places to hide a 4-digit number, if that's even what we were supposed to find. I kept thinking, how small could they be? Or how big? And I pulled way up in the corner and tilted the chopper down toward the floor. Sure enough, a gigantic 4-digit number. Nothing like a little perspective to show you something new. Lewis suggested using a phone keypad layout to try turning the numbers into letters. I ran it through an app that usually does a good job at showing you the most likely letter combinations. Still looked totally random. Then Emily said to reverse the order of each group of 4 letters. And right when I did that, a video window popped up on everyone's screens.
Good job, team. Very nice work.
Yes, and that message was for all of you.
Which message?
This message. Welcome to ISD.
I can still remember how pumped we were. We'd made it. We were working for ISD. But there would always be a part of me that wondered whether we could trust Laszlo. And in a lot of ways, Zara was even more of a mystery than before. We were in, and that was a good thing. But the question remained, what had we actually gotten ourselves into?
Alright, stay focused.
We'd moved our operations to the hangar at ISD, and we had our first major exercise. It was a night surveillance job, and the objective was to get the license number and state from the plates of a car, a black SUV. Emily and Lewis were in a golf cart, and Finn was being pulled behind on his skateboard. Zara was watching from her office. Everyone was in high spirits, and it looked like a slam dunk.
You know I was born ready.
Yeah, Adam, we got this. Don't worry.
Alright, I got eyeballs on all the security cams, but it's all about the license plate.
Remember, you're looking for the plate number and the state.
We'll get him.
You get anything?
No.
Split up. Emily, take the next left hard so Finn shoots straight ahead.
Let it go at the turn.
With Finn splitting off from the others, it gave us a chance to close in on the vehicle. Finn got there first, and I guess we all expected to find Laszlo behind the wheel.
You see this?
But there was no one there. As Finn went to see how close the others were, none of us was ready for what happened next.
You guys okay?
Finn went to see if someone had gotten back into the car, but it was empty.
Where's the Trinity?
Your nose is bleeding. Let me see.
It's nothing. What about you?
Emily and Lewis were only a little banged up, but I ran out to meet them halfway. That was when we decided to confront Laszlo at the hangar.
What are you trying to do? Kill us?
That was messed up.
I think it's the four of you who messed up. We're not playing games here, this is the real world. If you can't get a license plate from a remote-controlled vehicle, what chance do you have against Shantorian? I seriously overestimated your tracking skills. Get some sleep.
Man, what have we gotten ourselves into?
It was time to get the Orville DC installed at the bank. I looked back and I realized we were all acting like it was no big deal, that it was just another exercise. But it wasn't. The plan had Emily and Laszlo pretending to be an uncle and his niece, sitting down to talk with the bank manager about moving her ginormous college fund to his branch. During a distraction that Emily had been rehearsing all week, we needed to get the Orville DC to the manager's office and into position. We had tapped into the wireless security system at the bank, so we used their own cameras to see how it was going. Emily is so good at this in-person stuff, it's almost scary. And Laszlo, sometimes I get the feeling his background involves more covert ops than he lets on. No one saw her get the Orville DC out of her bag, and the distraction worked, so it was up to me to get the unit halfway across the bank without anyone seeing it. If I went too fast, it would make too much noise, but if I went too slow, eventually, someone's gonna see it.
Nice.
Very nice, guys.
You too, Zara.
Once it was in place, we had to wait until closing time, and I don't think we were prepared for the wait. There weren't nearly enough snacks, and it didn't seem right to play video games. And then all of a sudden, it was time.
This is the time when he logs in every day.
It's definitely clear enough to read here.
This is good work.
We had to hand it to Zara.
Nice job, all of you.
The Orville DC really delivered. When we were getting ready to leave, I should have noticed that Lewis had to remind Laszlo that we needed to make arrangements to get it back. I just chalked it up to fatigue and didn't think about it again.
What you are doing is very dangerous, and you cannot finish it without me. The intel button has to be unlocked for the plan to work. Of course, the red button will need to be activated as well. To move money around without leaving a trace requires the internet to be completely non-functioning. I will help you if you will listen to me. I'm closer than you think, and I've been watching you. Oh, and one more thing. Someone on your team isn't telling you everything.
What the heck? Lewis has a meeting that we don't know about? Seeing this footage was like getting punched in the gut. I didn't know what to believe. I had a huge problem, and I didn't have the first idea what to do about it.
I'll get right to the point. In order for this to work for everyone involved, we're gonna have to meet in person. At the hangar. If we're draining billions of dollars into bank accounts worldwide, it only makes sense that we have to work together and take turns. For a job of this magnitude, we need to plan in person, not just send recorded messages back and forth. Not if we're shutting down Intel and actually pressing the red button. Don't you agree?
I have attached an encrypted list of banks I claim as mine. The rest are yours. A second encrypted file explains the procedure I've laid out. One bank at a time, but moving quickly enough so the entire procedure takes only a few minutes. You should have no objections. There is a bench at the corner of Broad and John Streets. I will wait for you there from 7:45 to 7:50. You drive. Goodbye.
I have something insanely important to show you.
Lewis was right, both about it being important and about it being insane. Remember that moment in the van between him and Laszlo? The moment I didn't think much about? Well, because he's Lewis, he thought about it a lot. Instead of getting the Orville DC out of the bank, he used it to check up on something. This was when we started to piece together what Laszlo was really up to.
Somebody has hacked into the system. No, I haven't told anyone. I called you first. Of course not. Okay.
Lewis didn't think it was safe to send me the file, for obvious reasons. So this is what he was bringing out to the hangar when it all went down. Of course, this changed everything. But how much of it was my fault? Had I been blind to what was really happening to us? We got some unexpected visitors at the hangar. Aren't security cameras fun? Gun on top of the wrist, flashlights on. Nice form. Oh, this is great. This is Zara's office. There he goes. Leans back, doors open. I bet the main reason these guys signed up for this job is because they love kicking down doors. You'd think they would have figured out by now that there's nobody home. But maybe the thing they like even better than kicking down doors is walking around with their guns drawn. Even though it's creepy having people go through your stuff, this is still my favorite part. It's so cool the way everyone stands around, taking phone calls, staring at all this equipment, with absolutely no idea that I'm watching them.
Well, we have our first bad choice by our team of trackers. By disabling the red button, no one gets what they've worked for. Everybody loses, but it's the four of you who stand to lose the most.
You will lose your freedom, your future.
You should know that all the evidence still points to the four of you.
Would it be a fair trade, you getting things back working again, in exchange for us wiping out all this evidence? Maybe not fair, but acceptable.
You have to understand, it was never our intention.
Stick to what's important. There is no decision to make. We will press the button, and everybody gets what they want.
I think we should mention that the whole thing about the internet shutting down, it's an urban legend. Just a myth. What the red button really does is create a sort of digital tornado while we move things around and make things disappear.
Like who opened the banks? Who opened the intel? All these things you've done, there'll be no trail. I know you're the one who disabled it. You're the only one who can put it back together. So we must meet. Tell him the arrangement.
It's public, but yet we can do it all out in the open. We'll give you the Raymond device, and you can make everything work like it's supposed to. We'll have a laptop. We'll activate it right then and there, and we can make sure everything goes according to plan.
She's leaving something out, which is that this fulfills her contract with me. She's free to go after we're done. Maybe you would want her on your team. Of course, it would be up to you.
We'll meet you at the fairgrounds, 10 p.m. The bench in front of the Ferris wheel. Keep it simple. Don't try to complicate this. Okay?
So this was the best plan we could come up with in the time we had. I waited for Laszlo on the bench in front of the Ferris wheel. Lewis had the bird's eye view up top, Finn found a spot over to my right, and Emily was on my left. I know Zara warned me not to make this complicated, but the way I saw it, it was a little late for that.
Got him. Head your way, Adam.
Finn spotted him first.
I want to see Zara.
I thought you might. Have one of her team take a look at the House of Mirrors.
And there goes the element of surprise. I should have known there would be no hiding from them.
Lewis, what do you see?
She's last in a line of 3.
He handed me the Raymond device, and I thought, okay, this is either going to work, or we're toast.
Tell me, how do you know for certain you can put that thing back together again the right way?
Photographic memory.
No more tricks now. This better work.
It should.
We couldn't pick up a signal from his laptop. He must have had some kind of jamming device installed since the meeting at the hotel. I don't think time has ever moved more slowly than this. I thought for sure he could tell what I'd done.
Adam, see if your minicam can pick up his screen.
I tried to aim the minicam on my shoulder strap, but the reflection on his screen was too bright.
Okay. You go that way, I go this way. We will never see each other again. Understood?
Can I ask you something? Is Zara really free to go?
We've
talked enough.
Don't lose. That's when the game of cat and mouse kicked into high gear. Emily was closest and had him for a while. Then Finn picked him up from further back, but lost him. And Emily found him again in the midway.
I lost him.
And Finn got the last frames of him before he vanished into thin air.
Me too.
Then Lewis broke in.
Zara just went to the mirror maze.
Finn, Emily, mirror maze now. Lewis, cover us from up top. Emily, stand here, keep your eyes open.
I'm on it.
Don't tell me we lost her.
That's what it looks like. By the time we got through the mirror maze and out the back, she was gone. But there was one more surprise waiting for us. Agent Gans.
Time's up, gentlemen. Time we had a conversation downtown.
Laszlo and Zara had written the song. We had danced to their tune. I felt like a puppet on a string. Our only hope was that my programming skills would turn out to be the one thing these puppet masters couldn't control or predict.
Laszlo was all about the money, and it cost him. I can never forgive myself. Bravo for me. The digital world has a dark side. It has a dark side. I've tried to stop it. You leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. Stop trying to find me. Stop trying to find me. Technology's funny that way, don't you think? An appetite for destruction. Don't try to find me. Goodbye, Adam Henderson.